gotta leave it to the professional.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1. Hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream. Now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems. Topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink. I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one. I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1. Hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream. Now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems. Topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Buddy.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1. Hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream. Now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems. Topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. I had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So I had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. Aaron, done so do us a favor, drops a GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We would greatly appreciate it. It does us a real solid, helps warm up the algo. And you're going to want to head over to the YouTube streets today. You got to see our boy Vaughn frontin' rocking a new Pudgy over there. Also in the X video chat and YouTube abstract chat, rather, popping off as always. As always, I'm Cap, my co-host Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky. Meme coins exception risky. Go to 0 to them. So please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. Note Steve and I hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time here in the show, including REKT and PENGU. Might have a little discussion on that this morning. I don't know. I think I forgot something, but we're going to roll with it. GM Steve, how you doing, sir?
GM, doing well. I mean, it is crazy. I'm not going to say what the numbers are, but it's like, I mean, you could do the math yourself depending on what denominations you have, but it's crazy when I go to my Abstract Global wallet where, you know, I have my PENGU ported over, looked modest for a long period of time, nearly gave up, nearly jumped ship, probably, I don't know, 3-4 months ago because it didn't seem like anything was happening, kind of stayed the course. And now I'm at the point where it's like, it's funny. I put up this tweet this morning. I kind of want to talk about it. I just finished it right before the show because I'm trying to figure out where the point of PTSD versus taking profits is. Because especially in fungible tokens, you can take some profits and still be running. You can take some profits and say, took some off the table, feel good, we're rocking. In non-fungible tokens, it's obviously a little bit more difficult. And I find myself having those discussions with myself because we talked about, I mean, you have very strong conviction in REKT. I have strong conviction in REKT, maybe not as strong as you. Not that I don't believe in the team or what they're doing, but the actual like levels of market cap it can go to. And it's like, at what point is the number so silly? It's like, it's almost like I'm torn between numbers got so silly last cycle and they got silly in the ICO cycle and they're going to get silly again versus, hey, don't be the person who, like my sister-in-law who works for the Wall Street Journal had done a story on, maybe it was the GameStop people who watched GameStop just rip and were multimillionaires, didn't take profits, rode it all the way down to almost nothing, and we're like, yeah, but it's going to go back up, and we're happy with what we did, and blah, 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 blah. I know this sounds like a lot of NFT communities too, but that point between, I don't think we're there yet, but that point between take it off the table. Well, maybe, but it's like the idea of like take some off the table and just say, I'm comfy on a free roll.
Yeah, it depends on your goals. It depends on your goals. If you're looking for the free roll, then take some money off the table. If you have $17 in your checking account and you accumulate $1 million in crypto, fucking cash out. Take some money off the table. Go change your life. It's just different for everyone. And I think we are very early in this cycle relative to last cycle. And it's just not the headspace I'm in. Like, it's also, I don't have like, not even close to life. I guess it would have been life-changing gains last cycle. Don't get me wrong. Had I cashed out everything at the Pico top, and I had a lot of fun and enhanced my life, certainly, but it wasn't anywhere remotely close to quote unquote generational wealth. And that's part of my goal with this asymmetric bucket is hit, one or two apes of this cycle. And I just don't think I really think we're just heating up. Everything has a different lifespan as well. Like some of the stuff, if it's just a pure meme, like probably going to be looking to the exits a little quicker than someone building a real business or real brand about it. I said earlier, I think we've got at least the rest of the year to run. And now, does that mean everything is going to go up only? No, absolutely not. But I'm at a point of, if I'm cutting anything now, I'm not taking it off the table. I'm parlaying any wins into the winners. I'm doubling down. I think it's like, you can overtrade in a cycle. You can also undertrade in a cycle. I think it's easiest to, when you find winners, to double down on those winners and ride them for the cycle. And I think that's kind of where we're at. We've identified some, like we were talking pre-show. Like I think REKT, the coin. I think REKT, the brand coin REKT has billions programmed. It's all-time high. It's been up only. I said yesterday, it's the prettiest chart in all of crypto. It just keeps going up. They're so early in their cycle. Like they're just getting started. They've done some big collaborations. They've got more coming. Binance was announced. Just the things we've seen that have ran to $1 billion plus market caps purely on memes. REKT's a good meme. I don't think you could find a better community. Maybe it doesn't get there. I don't know. But of everything I've seen, like, I'm already kicking myself because I didn't move with more size earlier. I'm definitely not cashing out now and watching it just continue to run. But yeah, I think REKT has, like I said earlier, I think it's hard to compare them to PENGU. PENGU's been at it longer. Maybe not that much longer, or maybe not even at all longer in terms of like the actual token, but as far as building that brand in real life distribution, I don't know if you could find. Actually, I know it right now in the brand coin arena, in the meme arena, you can't find. PENGU would be the only one that has a path to sustainable, viable business. And I said this in the show, and I meant it. I think it's in range at this point, based on the information we have, that REKT Drinks becomes a household brand in the beverage industry as much, or even maybe greater chance than Pudgy Penguins becoming a household brand in the toy industry. Now, they're not only building toys, so I could see like there's a path where Pudgy becomes a household brand without toys. it's very competitive, and I think that toys also have like a shorter shelf life, in my opinion. Like it's just really hard, I think. Whereas once a drink hits escape velocity, it's everywhere. Like once you start seeing it in every 7-Eleven, then you see it in every Circle K, then you see it in every Shell gas station, then you see it in Walmart's, then you see it in Trader Joe's, and our CT ecosphere are, those 1,000 equity shareholders that are raving fans. They you can hardly even hear them because the brand just becomes bigger than that. And I think it's a very real path. Now, if REKT Drinks becomes a $1 billion beverage brand, if it becomes the next Liquid Death, does that value accrue back to the brand token? I don't know, but I bet it does. I don't know how to quantify that. I don't know if it means $1 billion market cap or a $10 billion market cap. But if REKT Drinks becomes a $1 billion brand, I don't think the token lags at a quarter of a billion.
Well, that's it. It's like how
ifs. I know a lot of big ifs loaded in there, but they're doing the thing, man. It's part of what excites me about this space is to bet on teams, and I think like now we've a more clear path to betting on these teams in having a vested interest. I am one of those 1,000 shareholders of REKT Drinks. I'll pull up Obi's text in a second. Like he said it best, like there's something special about that. Not enough people talk about this, but like those 1,000 equity holders, most of them rock a REKT IPFP. Most of them are, I say it's like a hard to. I sent a quote tweet of a post of mine that I sent a month ago, and it probably is the best performing tweet I've had since then. All because I gave a shout out to REKT. Like it is. Like they get the engagement that Bored Ape Yacht Club got last cycle.
That's what I was going to say. It's like Bored Ape Yacht Club-esque. It's like REKT and PENGU. Look, you can still get it, like good stuff in the club. The club retweets it, but it doesn't feel like there's that army of raiders anymore in the Bored Ape Yacht Club. No, it's not a shot. I'm excited for Vegas.
It is what it is. It's not a shot. It is.
Yeah. And it's like, it's a thing where it's like, I'm in the club. I'm going to Ape Fest. I'm excited for Complex Con. All of the above. But I do look at it like, man, I'm similar to you. I put out a tweet about REKT, cooks. I put out a tweet about Abstract or PENGU for the most part, not Abstract, but like PENGU or Pudgy, cooks.
This is what I was referring to. Like PENGU was the first shout out, up 200% since this post. REKT at all-time high, up 100% since the post. Post was 3 weeks ago. Now I did hashtag REKT. I tagged the ticker, saying it might be the prettiest chart in crypto. 4,000 impressions, a lot for me. Most of the retweets were REKT guys. It wasn't Pudgy holders. And I know maybe it's because they get more love and there's a lot more but
you might have gotten the raid treatment too. So they actually tag. No. I'm saying they have a Discord channel.
Yeah. I'm sure. Like, why doesn't everyone do that? Or is it just like they do and not everyone gets the support that REKT guy does?
Exactly. It's like I don't know. And it's like, it's weird because I remember, again, it's crazy because you think about, again, it'll sound like it's a shot. It's not a shot. It's because I know people always take things kind of personally, but like, Bored Ape Yacht Club, if you bought your Bored Ape and you tweeted about it, it was the most engagement you ever got on any tweet ever. If you tweeted a picture of you wearing an Ape hoodie or, don't fade Yuga or whatever, it's the best engagement you ever got. Now it's like, it performs well. And if you get a love from the main handle, it's always going to perform well. And they do a good job with that as well. They try to like go through at least a couple times a day and just absolutely fire off the retweets. And it's awesome. Garga gets in the mix. So like you still get a lot of great engagement there. But
I've said it publicly. I'll say it on the show. I truly believe this. Do you know what I believe has not killed because it's still there, but do you know what I believe to be true? What has diminished the Bored Ape Yacht Club engagement on the timeline?
This is going to be a shot at a sponsor?
No.
What?
It's the abuse and the absolute poor etiquette in group chats.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like ApeChain because it's diluted a little bit, which we talked about, like the confusion there. But like, I know it's expanded.
That's added to the just insane amount of group chats. And so it's the community. I believe the Bored Ape Yacht Club community is more fragmented than it has ever been before. And it's our fault. It's all of us. I'll take blame. I don't know if I've created any of these group chats, but I'm definitely in like 100 of them. So instead of having a Discord where people look to, hey, let's blow this up. It's pretty simple what REKT does. It works. They want to support. Instead of that, like we have a gated Discord. I might go in it once every few months. There's hundreds of group chats, which are annoying as hell. A lot of people will go and post their same self-serving, shameless shill of their own tweet or their own spaces link in like 7 different group chats. And so it's led to a lot of people checking out. It's a lot of the same people. And like, hey, group chats were part of the magic, but people have, it's gotten way too much to where I think that the community is more fragmented than it's ever been. The community's so awesome. You'll still get support. I'm really looking forward to Ape Fest. It's just we've lost some of that magic on the timeline. And I think group chats, which we're probably double, triple, maybe 10x with the advent of Ape Chain. I think that is absolutely played into the diminished engagement you might get on the actual timeline.
Yeah. By the way, I tried to jump back on stage. I got kicked off stage again. Spaces have been just delightful lately. Where every day I request up, every day you add me as co-host, every day I get co-host. And then every day
I'm not even following you. So
can I cold open one thing for a second? I know we jumped right into it. Then I promise I'll go back to this because I forgot this was funny until I just got a text from him. I just want to say like one of the funnier things that happened recently. So my brother's an investigative reporter. He did a story, not political. He did a story on Trump and Epstein yesterday. He does stories on both sides. Nobody likes him. He doesn't get any Christmas cards from anybody. Part of what happened yesterday, though, he was doing a story on Trump and Epstein. I don't know how this happens. When he was calling for comments, he got on the phone with Donald Trump. And because he works for CNN, and again, like he's at times persona non grata at CNN because like he'll cover like stuff the left does that's bad. In fact, he definitely had a ton of Kamala stories this election that didn't get him in good spots. One of the funniest things that happened, though, he gets on the phone with Donald Trump. Donald Trump says something like, "I can't believe you're running with this," or something. And then called my brother fake news to his face like 15 times in a row or something. Just like mumbled fake news, fake news, fake news. Like my brother got a personal private Trump tantrum. That's like, so my brother has gotten a letter like years ago. Joe Biden, when he first got elected president, sent my brother or not when he first got elected president, I think, sent my brother a letter.
You can still form complete sentences.
Exactly. Like it was a real letter from him commending him for his work in.
It wasn't auto pen. He might have actually signed this letter. No,
he did sign the letter. Yeah. Oh yeah. He signed this letter. It's legit.
Biden pre-auto pen days. This is that thing is a collectible, man.
But it was a letter basically saying like, hey, like you've raised a lot of money to fight childhood cancer, and I'll commend you as somebody who had a son die of this. Like it was very personal, like deeply personal about Biden's journey with his son, and my brother's journey with his daughter. It was very kind, huge deal. President of the United States sends you a personalized letter saying like you're doing a lot to fight the good fight. This isn't up there with that, but this has got to be close to be like to have Trump just yelling fake news at you on the phone, like Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States, 2-time president of the United States. Like that's funny. So I don't know. He tweeted about
was this a call on like his cell phone, or was he at like the station and it's on a landline?
I have no idea. Like I got to talk to him. I'm gonna debrief with him and play some Halo.
Your brother's professional. He wouldn't do this, but man, the things I would do if I had someone like that's phone number. I probably would never do anything with it.
Oh yeah, he's got some
funny. I don't know why. It seems like a lot has happened recently where I see these like mostly athletes. Like Scotty Scheffler was one recently where they like don't reply to someone and then come to find out like they changed their number or something. It was one of the Barstool guys recently. It's like they've been texting Scotty Scheffler for 2 years. Come to find out he just changed his number and didn't tell him.
No. That wasn't the story. It was Aaron Rodgers. And
so this is a different story. That's what I'm saying. Like there's been multiple stories. I saw the video on Scotty this morning with one of the Barstool guys. So Aaron Rodgers is the second one. I couldn't remember the name, but yeah, go ahead.
I'll tell you the Aaron Rodgers one because it was funny. Aaron Rodgers, so Big Cat, who's a big Bears fan, just goes after Aaron Rodgers. Like he's like he'll do his quarterbacks tier list. And again, they try to get a rise out of people and they'll have like a tier list and it's funny. They do the tier list, but they name them all funny. Like they had a tier list for a while that was someone who's a really average quarterback, like Dak Prescott or something. And they would have other people in it too. And then Dak Prescott would be in bad, but they had a tier list that was like jail and he had Aaron Rodgers on there and things. So anyway, he plays around with it, but he texts him. They've had him on the show. They've had a pretty good relationship. He asked him like Steelers ? And he was bugging him and hitting him up. And he saw him in Tahoe recently. And he goes, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers, you haven't been responding to my text. What's going on?" Aaron's like, "Oh, I changed my number." So he goes to somebody who has Aaron Rodgers' number. His friend, he's like, "Oh, I'll give it to you." And he goes to put in his phone. Aaron Rodgers did not change his number. He was just not answering. That was pretty fun. So like, he's like, "Oh, I changed my number," and said he didn't change it, but he didn't actually change his number.
Amazing.
I'm going to see if I can.
I mean, I've shared it before. I won't share the whole story again, but he is actually like an in real life asshole. Maybe the only person I would actually say that I've met in real life and I would call them an asshole to their face. Like, he is an absolute prick. Like, biggest narcissist I've ever met in my life. And this came from not even a 5-minute interaction with the guy.
I'm trying to find my brother's when the person in the White House accidentally added here's one during the first do you know who Mike Pompeo is?
Yep. I mean, I know the name. I don't.
He was the director of the CIA under Trump in the first administration.
Got it.
He said during the first Trump administration, I accidentally added Mike Pompeo to a group chat about setting up a night playing Super Smash Brothers 64. Like, this happened. Like, it's like, so you talk about the numbers they have. It's like, he has a friend named Mike. He accidentally added Mike Pompeo. So it's like my brother, his friends trying to play N64, Smash 64 to unplug, and the director of the CIA is in there. And I, of course, asked my brother, I'm like, who's his go-to fighter? But like, just pretty funny. Like, it's like, that's the sort of thing that happens when you have those sort of numbers in your phone, which I don't. But it's hilarious when you hear stories like that. I don't know. My brother's a goof. He's a funny dude. He's just I don't know. But anyway, so I want to do that because I thought that was just noteworthy that my brother has been called. And again, Trump literally shares stories my brother does when they're on the left and talks about how great of a journalist he is. But when he calls him about this, he's like fake news, directly to his face. It's amazing. Anyway, but
not gonna. That'll be the end of our political discourse this morning. But I do like, as someone who doesn't pay attention to this stuff, I just see headlines. I think this Epstein list might just absolutely wreck his base. Like it is. You talk about gaslighting. The guy's he's gaslighting his entire base right now. Like, kind of a wild approach. But anyways, I'm sure people didn't tune in to hear about Trump and Epstein.
I know. And there's a whole bunch of, we can go down some rabbit holes because I actually am sort of like, I'm sort of a truther on both sides of the stage at this point, as far as like, is there a list? Is there not a list? Like, I wonder, like, there's obviously like tapes and stuff, but I wonder sometimes, I'm like, is it just destroyed? Right. Like, because if you are, and maybe it exists somewhere, but it's like, the idea that like, if such a thing existed.
I do believe the actual, if there was an original list or a logbook, I do believe that's probably been destroyed by now. But you don't think someone took some pictures of that? Like,
probably. That's what I'm saying. That probably exists.
The most powerful blackmail maybe in the history of the world, right? Like, I think that highly, highly, highly likely there's hard evidence of, and the videos would be, indisputable. But I think it's highly likely there is photos of this list somewhere. But
yeah, probably. It's just but in any case, we'll get off that. I just think it's like if you got a cameo from Donald Trump, like you probably want him yelling fake news at you. So I just thought it was a hilarious story. Not political in any means on any side. Like I said, like my brother's the most politically neutral person you'll find. It's just people think, basically he has the perfect thing where everybody hates him, so that means that he's doing his job well. But in any case, I thought that was funny. But
I'm gonna get the huddle mad at me, screaming fake news at me this morning for the title. I just said, can REKT flip PENGU? And this is not PvP. I'm not trying to make it that. I have as much conviction in both teams and what they're building. One of them has a market cap that is like 10x the other. And tell me why REKT couldn't get there.
I mean, that's the part that's crazy is like fungible tokens are such a fickle thing where it's like they can be ripping one day and down the next. But to your point about REKT and PENGU, and I know we'll obviously hit this on the daily market update as well, but it's like, REKT sits at a market cap of, I mean, God, those charts are both insane. I just was kind of looking at both charts.
It's
but
nuts, man.
REKT, so PENGU sits at a market cap of 2.7 billion. REKT sits at a market cap of 290 million. And to the point you're making, I think Pudgy Penguins probably are less niche at the moment. They have more distribution at the moment as far as like the PFPs, they're on crypto Twitter. Luca is out there doing tons of media. You know, Ovi's running multiple businesses, right? Ovi's running multiple businesses and doing the drinks, and he's present. And so, and not that Luca isn't, but Luca's almost more of a media darling, which I think does drive coin sentiment to a point. They have entire communities built around, like, specifically around Pengu. I think REKT is all one conglomerate. Now, that said, I think a lot of people feel like, you know, right now, REKT needs about a little over a 3.5x to $1 billion. I don't think people think that's crazy right now, which is crazy to say, like, in some ways, but I don't think that's crazy.
Like I said earlier, it is a regret of mine this cycle, because I do feel I think billions are coded, multiple billions. And I've said it here, like, I've been waiting for it to go live on Hyperliquid just to long it, and I will full throttle whatever they'll let me ratchet up the lever to. I should have just, and I have been, like, I guess I will actually give OpenSea Farm a little bit of credit, because that's I bought $50.
Same.
You know, I've been DCA'd by way of the OpenSea fee farm, but yeah, I wish I would have. It's not lost conviction. It's certainly grown, but I should have just rotated more into it than, you know, these little $50 buys to add to my stack. So I don't know. I'm close. Crocs, if you're listening, we should let that doodle fly and roll it into REKT. I think it's got far more upside than a lot of other things right now.
If Crocs isn't listening now, he'll be listening later. Crocs is like one of the ultimate, like, say what you want. That man is always on the Coffee with Captain Grind. But yeah, man, it's weird because, like, I agree with you. And then I'm trying to, like, walk the line between, am I...
Pengu hit all-time high too. I didn't know that. They both hit all-time highs overnight. It's crazy.
Yeah. Which is wild to think. And it's like Pengu, at some point I did sell a little bit of Pengu, not a lot, but I did sell some, which is probably like a lot at this point when you look at the numbers wise, but I did sell some to, like, rotate into, like, Billy or some other things, because I didn't want to move some other bags around, and it was, like, you know, kind of down only and kind of stagnant. But I pretty much kept almost all my Pengu. And for people who don't know, you can check the tape. My strategy is Pengu dropped in December. I did not sell my airdrop for tax purposes. And in fact, I bought more at the time. And I bought more going into January, claimed my airdrop, and haven't done anything with it since. I find myself sitting there saying, you know, like, if Pengu, we're at the point, though, to your point about REKT versus Pengu, and we'll kind of, like, talk a little more REKT, I think, here in a second. Pengu now to get, like, asymmetrical gains, almost like Pengu right now is like a top 50 coin in the world or something, which is like a massive number. So Pengu, to have those massive gains now at this point, to have those major asymmetrical gains, unless you move with size, it needs to be a Doge, a Pepe, etc. Right? It needs to, like, really, like, Shiba Inu at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Like, that's it. It basically, so Sheeb's market cap's 8.7 billion. Like, for Pengu to not even 4x, and it's at 3 to 4x, and it's at Sheeb's price. I think can that happen? Yeah, and I actually think it's possible. Maybe
you almost said likely. I think you almost said likely.
I wanted to say likely, but I'm trying to not get too far ahead of myself. I know there's a lot more people than just us. I realize that CT is a very, very, very small niche corner of the internet, and a small niche corner of crypto, for that matter. Dude, you couldn't convince me to buy Sheeb here over Pengu. Like, they're not even in the same ballpark. The only thing Sheeb has going for it is more time. And like Von Friend says, I feel like that's a solid stopping point. Yeah, if it flips Sheeb, maybe that's where, you know, I would, okay, where does it go from here? Like, that's maybe a good place to take profits. I just think I think it's much easier for REKT to 4x to $1 billion than it is for Pengu to 3x to hit Sheeb's market cap.
Yeah, I agree. That's kind of my point.
I think it's like part of my why I'm more bullish on REKT than Pengu right now is that it's already run up farther. And if I look at like the teams, what they're building, how they're building, they're very clear to me, two winners. And yeah, I do. I think that much more realistic for REKT to 4x in the short term to break $1 billion than it would be for PENGU to flip Shiba. And then at that point, you're talking like it's a top in the top 20. I think Shiba's 19 right now in terms of crypto market caps. Like it's a pretty big deal for a meme that was launched 6 months ago.
It's just, well, hit is to give like a weird analogy on this one, because I think people are like, oh, well, why can't it? They may not think of it like, hey, why can't this 3x, this 3? I think people need to think of it as volume, size, and what you need to do. Like, if you're just starting to run and you can run 1 mile, running a 5K, a 3x, that feels pretty doable, 3.1x, right? You're like, okay, I can get there. If you are a 5Ker and you're trying to run a, 5x from there, we're talking about running over a half marathon at that point. Like, think about it in terms of that. You going from 1 mile to 3 miles, well, it doesn't cost a lot of extra effort to do that. It costs some effort. It's hard. You got to work on it, but you can do it. Going from a 5K to a half marathon, it's a little bit more work, right? And it's like, but that's kind of the point we're at with REKT and PENGU, where it's like PENGU needs to go from 5K to marathon to get to that, major point and be like a top 10 coin, a top, 20 coin, whatever it is. REKT just needs to go from a mile to to a 5K. And so I think like when we talk about these numbers, I think sometimes we say the word billions as if it's not some massive, crazy, wacky number to say. But it is. It requires a lot of money. It requires, and look, PENGU's got Van Eck talking about it, so they want it. They're vested to see it go higher. But
so on to that point, let's say the PENGU ETF is a smash hit and it sends PENGU.
Ooh, I like where you're going with this.
It's going to be a REKT ETF. Like, it's just like they are brand coins. They have great teams. Like, they're executing at the highest level. They have a lot more in common than they have not in common. And if the ETF is a hit, like, I would bet any amount of money that there'll be a REKT ETF to follow. It's just like, now if PENGU ETF's a flop, then yeah, that probably doesn't happen. But the way things are heading, I think it's more likely it's a hit than it's a flop. And it's the 259th ranked cryptocurrency right now by market cap. I don't know if there's 20 more coins I'd rather make a bet on than REKT right now. And it's 259th.
It's interesting. Like, to your point about the Bored Ape Yacht Club thing, and again, history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. I do feel like there is something to be said about, you have that, like, I know early Bored Ape Yacht Club's vibes is always a silly thing to say, and people are like, haha, whatever.
It's not, though. I think it's for many reasons. One, the vibes, the engagement, but also like it's a good anchor to remind us how silly things can get. Maybe we don't see another run like that this cycle. I think we will. Like, it's a more favorable environment today than it was in 21, 22. We have way more tailwinds. Then it was a battle then. There was arguably no tailwinds and a lot of headwinds. Whereas now, like, things are just now, maybe the pushback is the money printer isn't on yet, but man, if that thing gets turned on and we see fresh liquidity fly into the space, like, things will get silly again. Like, I think that referencing those early Bored Ape Yacht Club vibes, it's vibes. It's a constant reminder of how silly things can get here. And I think that's a good thing. I think it helps because a lot of us that have been here the whole time, we're probably impacted more by the PTSD than we are the memory of the early silly season days.
Yeah. For sure. What is the tweet you posted? Because you posted something from OSF. I don't know.
Sorry, it's pretty small. I don't know if I can zoom in much more. I'll paraphrase, but it's a good. I pinned it up top if anyone wants to read it in full detail. But it basically just talks about how they got started. They bootstrapped everything. It was a free mint. Him and Mando basically funded everything to get things started. how they had to, how could we compete with the big guys? And they knew they had a minimally strong community, and that's largely because they tried our best to reward them as much as they could. That's when the idea to gift actual equity in REKT brands to REKT NFT holders. It was done by a Reg CF SEC exemption in the US and executed via an SEC registered dealer broker. Anyone who claimed was fully KYC'd. I also believe they're the only crypto project to have done something like this. Roughly 1,000 people claimed equity. 1,000 minor shareholders may seem irrelevant to you, but that's simply because you're viewing them as 1,000 minor shareholders. In fact, these guys are actually 1,000 turbocharged marketers because for once, they actually own a piece of the company. They own the very same piece of the pie that I do, that the team does, that the investors do. It's a level playing field. That overwhelming reason for any success we've had has been due to the diehard nature of our community. And by now, you've probably seen the phrase REKT world domination many times. You will see REKT guys all over the timeline pushing REKT because these guys actually own a real stake, have been in this community for over 4 years and have made good money and own great upside from just a free mint. You will not see loads of famous CT KOLs talk about us or push us because we did not take the conventional approach of paying loads of KOLs or doing lots of paid marketing to push REKT. By the way, I don't have a problem with that at all, but I just knew for us to stand any chance of competing with the best, we had to do things differently. Cookie cutter ain't going to work. We still have to do things differently and come up with unique ideas. Anyways, that's all I want to say. Like, it's just like, he nailed it. And he's right. Like, this is how you build here. And we haven't seen many really bring their earliest supporters along. I would even say Luca hasn't done as good a job of bringing those earliest supporters along as REKT has. Maybe there's some that got in a seed round, but most of those holders don't own any equity in Igloo. And I think that's like, you could sell I actually, someone in that comment, they sold their REKT, they sold the REKT NFTs. They were attempting to sell the NFT to buy more REKT, and then the token ran away. So now they hold none, but they're a proud equity holder. Like, that doesn't go away. They continue to be a brand ambassador despite having sold their REKT and their REKT NFTs. Like, it's just, there's something really special about how they've built REKT brands, and they don't get enough credit for it. They don't. Like, I think that it's like, I sent out the poll, maybe it's still active. If you are raising today in 2025, and I know not raised by the traditional equity sense of raise, if you are bringing in capital to fund a business operation, to fund a startup, would you go in NFT mint like many did in 21, 22 to raise a few $100,000, a few $1 million to get things started? Would you go the ICO route? Would you do a capped pre-sale? Or would you just do a friends and family round? And that's the easiest. Like, friends and family rounds probably makes the most sense. And then later do an NFT mint or an ICO. If I wouldn't get thrown in a cage for selling a security, I would do a full on public raise now to do a venture, not because I want thousands of shareholders that I have to report to. That's a lot more difficult and complicated than going to a half dozen friends and family that they just cut you a check and wait for their monthly reports. The benefits of doing it that way, though, in creating, in this case, 1,000 raving fans, 1,000 brand ambassadors, an army of 1,000 marketers. It's what NFTs did. It's why many went the NFT mint route to raise their funds, because it wasn't just the funding, it wasn't just the capital. It came with hundreds, if not thousands, of brand ambassadors, of supporters. Luca really executed this when they launched their toys. The Web3 community will absolutely support, and there's value in that. I think vesting those earliest supporters is a really big deal. And I'm actually still shocked we haven't, because of the success we've seen REKT have this cycle, I'm shocked we haven't seen more go that route. And I could list off examples of ones that have pivoted and left the industry, and they could have done something similar. And I think it was their biggest mistake in doing so. Some of these brands are irrelevant already because they left the people high and dry that helped them get to where they are, that helped them raise, whether it was $1 million off a mint, and they went and raised another 20 million from investors. That doesn't happen without the earliest supporters. And they took that for granted. It's easy. Like, ideas now are a dime a dozen. If you have ChatGPT or access to the internet, you can come up with ideas. You can build a business plan. what's really hard to go get is 1,000+ passionate brand ambassadors from the jump. And we saw so few actually turn that into like an ongoing thing, right? And I'm not going to bash into the others or some that I particularly have a gripe with, but they've done a phenomenal job of it. And I am a little shocked we haven't seen more go this route. It's not easy, but man, it's not even theoretical. Like they're proving it works.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, let's I see Joey jumped up and had some thoughts on this. So we'll go to Joey here in a second. I will say this, and man, Husker and actually it was my bad. It was Jambert who jumped in on it first. So Jambert in the chat goes, what if we see a Pudgy REKT collab? Need a Penguin drinking some REKT. Husker said Penguin REKT collab would make a ton of sense right now, or a lot of sense right now. Agree with that. That would be crazy. Like, I would buy that. Imagine if you got a small PENGU drop and a small REKT drop just for buying the drinks, knowing that you buy the drinks, you get the claim, probably goes up in the meantime. I mean, the Jupiter REKT drop, somebody was telling me, I didn't do the math on this, so someone can correct me. I think the Jupiter REKT drop is going to be like over $100 now.
Way more.
150, 200, whatever it is. I bought 2 cases of it for like, I don't know, what was it, like $60, 70? I don't remember what it was.
$69.
I remember it was a hilarious, 99.99% discount, because if you didn't hold REKT, which you needed to get the claim, they're like, it's going to be, $2,069 or something in there, $69,000 or something. And then they're like, you got a 99.99%. So it was like a fun little game they played. But, I was telling my buddy, he asked, was that on the floor? I had a box of Shipwrecked, and I'm like, those are drinks that I bought for, I don't know, like $100 or something, those 2 cases. And I'm like, and I got like $123 for buying them. And he's like, you got $123 for buying them? I'm like, yeah, that's the reward system, and the price has gone up. So yeah, Thomas is saying it'll be close to $300 for that. I bought like a couple of cases of it. So feeling pretty good there. Joey Vowles, what are your thoughts on this, GM?
GM guys, I actually have a question, because Cap was talking about, like, if REKT becomes a $1 billion company, and then like you're earning these points, and then the token will probably come with it, and then PENGU has their animations on YouTube and their toys and etc. But clearly, like, one token, like from a business perspective, is more tied to the success of the business, right? So to Cap's point, if REKT goes from 7-Elevens to Circle K's to Publix to Costco, right, like to all these stores, and the company's bottom line increases because of the way they reward you with the REKT, with the points and then the token goes up. Where PENGU necessarily isn't connected to the bottom line directly, right? It's more of like an indirect connection. So I guess my question is, like, what would be for PENGU to keep climbing and to 3x, 4x, what would that catalyst be in comparison to REKT, which is just keep growing the business?
Say it again.
So like with REKT, the REKT token is connected to the actual bottom line of the business, right? Sell more drinks, earn more points. Points allow you to claim REKT, and then the price of REKT continues to go up, right? Because the business is successful. Where like PENGU isn't connected to the bottom line of the business, right? Like, we're not earning PENGU because the business is doing better.
No, I mean, you're not worth REKT either. It's not connected to the bottom line. It's just part of their loyalty. Like PENGU, I mean, unless they don't do the PENGU claim for toys, like they're structured basically like almost identical. Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not tied to the bottom line of the business. It's just their loyalty reward program is a variable one that becomes more valuable the more success the business has. For instance, Steve, I just looked. I only bought 1 case. Talk about bag fumbles. That $69 purchase of REKT Drinks Jupiter drop is now valued at $338. You can claim it in October.
Which is insane, because if it keeps coming up,
See, that's my question though, right? Like, so
But that has nothing to do
there's
with their
like more of a
business. Like,
direct connection
Mm,
between participating in, right? Like as the bottom, as REKT's bottom line continues to grow, if they become $1 billion business, right? All these rewards and the token price are going to continue to go up because of the success of the business. Where like, I guess,
Pengu,
like
why wouldn't the same thing happen with Pengu though? It's the same concept.
yeah, but we're not earning Pengu for, well, we're supposed to earn Pengu for the toys we bought, right?
Yeah.
But what is the future catalyst of Pengu? Is it just because people want to get into the ecosystem, or is there like do we think there's some like potential reward system similar to like REKT that they could introduce that would help that? Like, why would Pengu 4x from here outside of speculation?
I mean, my understanding is that maybe I'm crazy. I thought Lucas said this. I thought for sure that it's just they haven't turned it on yet.
Luca did say this. This isn't. I believe I have it in the
it's
book.
like the exact same model. It's the only difference is like what REKT you're getting. Actually, you don't even know what REKT. You just know you're getting REKT at the time of purchase. And in Pengu, we're not sure when it's going to happen, but I still fully expect to be able to scan the code on my Pengu toys and get some Pengu allocation. Now, is it going to be a $20 toy convert to what's the math on 69 to will a $20 toy become $80 in Pengu? I doubt it. I'm not expecting that. But I mean, am I wrong, Steve? Like they're what's been laid out is really similar, if not identical, loyalty rewards program.
Yeah, it was. It was the you get the Pengu, because Luke has a quote where he says, like, look, if you're scanning and he talked about like, collectibles you get from it. They talked about Pengu you get from it, but he had some quote about like, if you scan my toy and the toy next to it, this toy comes loaded with, some money on it effectively, and the one next to it doesn't. Well, then, which toy is more appealing on top of the fact that they're great toys? So like that conversation did happen. I don't think it's like apples to apples though, because like I won't say like I don't think Joey's premise is necessarily like, I'm not tracking the premise fully there, but I will say there is something to be said about like they're very different products. Like,
well, that's my point. Sorry, Steve. You just said it. That's my point, right? Like they're different in how the tokens are being distributed. So like if one is more connected to the success of the business, like we feel REKT is, where Pengu is still more of like it's standalone. I'm trying to get it out to where like if REKT becomes $1 billion business, I think their token easily becomes $1 billion token, right? Where Pengu is already probably, the Pengu token is probably already worth more at 2.7 billion than what Igloo and Pudgy Penguins is worth, right? So like, how does one, like what makes Pengu 4x to 10 billion, where REKT I could see going to $1 billion because that company could become $1 billion company? Does that make sense?
And the reason why is you need to think about like what plays out traditionally if money besides our corner of the internet comes into play, which there is to a point on Pengu in Van Eck. And the question is, what makes Pengu go up? Well, one of the things that makes Pengu go up is the fact that they have Van Eck, the fact that it is a traditional meme coin, the fact that they have gifts everywhere, and people say, like, the same way people like Doge went up because it was a meme. It's the biggest fumble that we talk. You know what's crazy is that, look, we're constantly wrong about things all the time. So we're not trying to be right, say, oh, we're right about this, right about that. We're constantly wrong about things. I don't understand why when Pengu started the gift game, every single group, like every community I was in, we talked about it with Bored Apes. We talked about it with Doodles. Every single group, we said, why don't you get in gifts? And they almost like, we're like, oh, yeah, it's there. But what does it really do? It's like, what gifts does is that my wife gets a gift sent through her like internal like Slack or Teams or whatever it is at work by the 72-year-old lady she works with because she sees a cute penguin gift. That it comes up first when I search for certain things. That my mom posts them on Facebook. Like that's what it does. And it like, they talk about the proliferation of the penguin. And like I've talked about top funnel marketing all the time. There's a reason why the top piece of the top funnel of marketing is called awareness. And you can define awareness as awareness of the brand itself or just awareness of the thing existing. And right now, more people are aware that Pudgy Penguin exists than a lot of other brands. So like what makes PENGU go up? It's the fact that people say, oh, that's part of that. Oh, I can own that. Oh, I can like, so that can make it go up. REKT is a different product in the sense that it has a different feel to it. It does have a strong community, has a strong community that's excited about it, has a vested community that has a vested interest in it. I think that there is probably something to be said about how you can move with PENGU versus REKT. It's very different, but like what makes PENGU go up? It's like Van Eck is a traditional brokerage house. They're running it. So they're trying to run PENGU up. They're trying to run Penguins up. They're changing their PFP to Penguins. Tom Lee, who's like the ETH guy, who's on CNBC and appears on Fast Money and all the different shows. Tom Lee has a Pudgy Penguin as his PFP. PENGU is the most correlated thing to that, because the other thing about PENGU is like, if people think PENGU is magical and it's got something to it, there are two ways to get exposure. You go spend $50,000, $60,000 on a Pudgy Penguin, or you can spend $50, $60 on PENGU. And so I think like as risk tolerance increases, as more people get into crypto, as more traditional finance people talk about it. I mean, I told the story here the other day. Guy was talking to, my age, has kids in my kid's school, all that, was like, yeah, I bought my kids one share of Disney, one share of Chipotle, one share of a few stocks, so they kind of knew what was going on there. Also, bought them a little bit of the Bitcoin ETF, just bought a little bit at the time. That thing's run. And like, once they see that and they're like, oh, okay, so like Penguin's worth a lot, like unit bias is real. And they're like, oh, PENGU's worth a whole lot less than, PENGU's worth a whole lot less than Bitcoin. Like people just look at unit bias. They'll buy the next thing. And so I think there's just different stories there. Whereas like, yes, like the point that I think I would agree with is like less about the distribution strategy and more just about like, PENGU is very entrenched with culture. REKT is very entrenched with like, oh my God, this business is crushing it. There's more drinks in people's hands. And so I don't know, but yeah, like I just, part of me is like, Cap, let me ask you this. I'm curious your take on this. If you think REKT is going to be PENGU's market cap potentially, like, are you full porting into it now? Are you running into it now? Are you close to doing so? Are you moving stuff around? Like, are you comfy in your bags? Like, what is your thinking on exactly? And we always say not financial advice. Don't follow us into trades. Talking to two guys who rode JPEGs up to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, and rode them all the way back down. So don't take advice from us. What are you doing right now about REKT? Are you taking action?
I'm just, yeah, but not like major action. I'm just slowly rotating out of things and into REKT and other things I have bets on. I as I mentioned, I would love for it to get live on Hyperliquid, but yeah, that's it. I'm buying, just not buying like aggressively or with as much size as I should. Just more slow rotations, and I need to do a better job of liquidating some things that, especially when we look at the daily market update today, you see some of these collections that are pumping. Like I just need to let some of them fly.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, is like, I've been trying to consolidate some bags. And it's funny, Clemente had a tweet the other day. I've said on this show, and Clemente stole my brain content, because I've said it on this show, like, didn't steal my content. It's his content to have. But like, people joke around, Clemente's the worst trader, Clemente's the top signal. And I'm like, he's not as bad of a trader as you think. Like, he makes some pretty smart moves. You actually pay attention. He just plays into the meme, which is smart. But like, he had a tweet the other day about that, and I was like, man, I wanted to put something like that out. He also made this comment where he's like, I made this rule a while ago where if I had a big trade, I would put X percentage of it into Bitcoin if I won. And if I had a big loss, I would take the remaining loss money that I put at my stop loss and put it into Bitcoin. He's got like a quarter of a Bitcoin out of it, just like by reallocating. This is the thing. There it is, right there, 0.17. This is the thing that you can be doing with things you have conviction in. I am very similar to you. One thing that I did, what I think worked last cycle, was a lot of spray and pray. And then what worked in meme coins was a lot of spray and pray. Not that I'm not going to spray and pray this cycle. and I'm not going to put money in a lot of different things if I see opportunities, or I'm not going to jump on them. But I think the thing that I'm going to change specifically about the cycle, besides sort of taking profits, which I do want to talk about in a little bit here, I do think it would make sense to say anytime I have a winner or as I'm consolidating, I'm going to pick 2 or 3 bigger bets because I believe in those and I have conviction in those. And like PENGU and REKT are a couple of them, and you know, there's a couple of individual, but I think that that's the play is making some bigger bets on some things. So it's like, I think to your point about it, it's like every time OpenSea does a farm, I've been putting money into REKT or PENGU. There's a period of time I was putting into Kaido. I haven't pulled the trigger yet, but I'm like, the button is open and finger is above the button to unstake my Kaido. I know you talked about that the other day. It's like weird, like bias that I don't want to do it, but it's like, why is that money?
Part of me is like, I think they have to correct something. Like they got kind of, I don't know if I've seen anyone. I did see ICO mildly defend it or attempt to defend it, but most people are not a fan of the launchpad, and more so the partner, their first launchpad partner. It's pretty weak, and part of me. I mean, maybe the move is now before they make another blunder, but part of me thinks they have to correct something. They have to do an announcement or change something to win back their loudest supporters. And I think when they do that, we could see the token run again. And that's probably when I'll look to sell versus selling it down. Maybe it bleeds out, but I don't think so. I think they'll do something. They get too much attention to just let it die.
All right. Well, 2 things. One, we're going to do something surprise. I'm getting a text from somebody who may or may not be on stage. And we're going to do a little surprise thing here in a minute, in probably 3 minutes. But to beat the time between now and then, let's do maybe a daily market update. Sound good?
Let's do it.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by 8 coin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8 chain, we bring in the heat. NFT spends alpha, never miss a beat. 8 chain on top, now we bring in the flex. The home of NFTs, figures now what's next. Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop for one time.
It's time for the daily market update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap.
Back to green in NFT land. Pudgy's up 8% on the day to 16.4 ETH on over 500 ETH in volume. DX Terminal is trending again, so you know what that means. OpenSea Farms are live again. Little Pudgy's up 8% following the Von Frunten PFP change up to 1.73 ETH. Not to be outdone by Moonbirds. Flipped Little Pudgy's there at 1.76, up another 20% on the day after a little bit of pullback yesterday. Apes up 2.46% to 12.5 chunks. Another OpenSea farm up 10% on the day. Milady's up 4%. Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne. The crypto bats up 2.05 ETH. That's 167% gain on the day. 80 ETH in volume. As Ozzy Osbourne fans pay their respects with collectibles in their wallets. Azuki up 1.48% to 2.18. And this one, Cool Cat's up 30%. What are we doing here, Steve?
What are we doing here? Somebody, you know what people are betting on right now? I'll tell you exactly what people are betting on with Cool Cats.
Historical NFTs from 2021.
I don't even think it's that. I think people are betting that something's going to happen because Spencer goes and snacks. Moonbirds does a lot with them. Luca had grabbed Pudgy Penguins, which is a cute IP. Cool Cats. There are people who hate the cats. I think the cats have great IP. I really do. I really do like the Cool Cats IP. I truly do. It's just there hasn't been anything that's landed with them. And I think people are saying, look, if there's any community left there, which I don't know if there is, there might be. I know when I've said bad stuff about the cats before, I have the cutest little angry people in my mentions. But like, if Cool Cats has any sort of community left, building off that and getting that going again, you could see rippers there. And I wonder if we're going to recycle some of these old ones and see them run back up. But that'll be a fun one.
Pure speculation, it sounds like, on a CTO. I forget who, someone in the chat earlier was talking about like a Clone X CTO. Could they pull off what what Spencer's done with Moonbirds here? I don't know. I personally, I'm sure there's some. I'm sure there are some that would be a good play. I think I'd rather see, if a great builder that's capable of doing that, I'd rather see them do that with new IP. Maybe I don't know. I don't know where I net all. I need to put some more thought to it. But heading down to memes, PENGU, as we mentioned, all-time high, the big winner on the day, up 13%, really in a sea of red across most leading alts today. Doge down 4%, Shiba down 2%, Pepe down 1%, Bonk down 2%, Trump down 1%. I need to go, since we were talking REKT, I at least need to check the price. It is up 24% on the day, so even outpacing PENGU there. A little bit of pullback since it topped earlier, but incredible day for PENGU and REKT. On the major side, down slightly. Bitcoin down to 118,586, ETH down to 3675. I saw some TA experts talking about, I think 3,300 is kind of the magic point there. I saw ODG Farmer talking about like we're close to like ripping violently either direction, depending on how like the next 24 hours play out. So maybe a good day to if you got longs or shorts open, maybe a good day to pay attention to the charts. XRP down 2%, Solana down 2% to 196, Doge down 4%, Cardano down 2%, and that's our daily market update brought to you by ApeChain. ApeChain on top. Don't forget to go check out the spotlight over there. A few days left in this current season. Steve, back to you.
Yeah, we're gonna have a little surprise here, but I'm working on doing a little bit of a funding thing here. But I'll go ahead and let people know what's going on here. Hopefully, we get the update soon. Oh, perfect. We are all set. Okay, so I don't know if you saw this or if Joey was just texting me on the side, but huge news from our friends over at Beezy. So here's what we're gonna do. Because we love our listeners, and this wasn't like the pre-announced thing, so we don't have any sort of tourists here. Looking around the room, there's a new $50 claw at Beezy, a new multi-category. Oh, you're surprised too. I'm gonna pull a. Actually, let's do this. I'm gonna explain what we're gonna do. Then I'm gonna do the share screen. We are going to pick two people from the chat. If you are listening and paying attention right now, in the chat, hit us and tell us if you want to be a free $50 claw pull. We will give you and send you in your Beezy account the item that we win from there. So if you are wanting to be in this, we're looking at our classic chat. I'm going to go ahead and say if Jambert is still listening, Jambert, if you are still listening, if you are not, let me know. If you're still listening, Jambert is one of them because Jambert put out the Pudgy REKT collab idea. Okay, so Jambert is for sure in, number one. So we're getting Jambert in for sure.
Steve, just so you know, it's all Pokemon, but it's Pokemon slabs, vintage and new, and Pokemon sealed product.
So Pokemon sealed product, we're talking boxes, we're talking slabs, we're talking vintage, we're talking new. So Joey has offered to personally sponsor 2 claw pulls, $50 each. Jambert is one of them. Jambert, make sure you have a Beezy account set up. If you don't, go ahead and get one set up. We will pick a. Go ahead, Cap.
5% chance to pull an ultra rare over $500. 0.85% to pull one between 250 and 500. So some
Cap,
grails in there.
I'm gonna let you. Here's what I'm gonna do. I am going to play the Coffee with Captain music. Machiavelli wants in. Drew wants in. Thomas wants in. Lots of people. Surprisingly, like claw pulls are actually kind of my favorites right now because like the true listeners are getting in. Diego wants it. Lots of people want in. So here's what I'm going to do.
All right. I'll send another 50. We could do 3.
We're going to do 3. We're going to do 3. So Cap, I will pick another one in a minute, but I'm going to let you pick. I'm going to play Coffee with Captain. We're going to pull it up. You're going to pick a second person. Then we will pick a third person for sure. But for old time's sake, we're going to play, honestly, just one of the most banger jingles of all time. And we're going to pull 3. Jambert is one of them. We'll have to pull another other couple.
Coffee with Captain. Give that claw a spin. Roll 2 grills from BC. Prizes within. Mystery and magic. Where to begin? Coffee with Captain. It's your time to win.
I don't know if I have the live read handy, and I am struggling trying to find it. So we're just going to say BZ is the best. First of all, you're secured in a Brinks vault here if you have your collectibles. This is no joke. I will share my collection because I'll be that guy. I have a collection. I've got some Pokemon cards. I did an OTC deal the other day, which was absolutely awesome. I got shoes. I got Tom Brady cards. I got Jeffrey Jordan cards. I have Larry Bird cards, Oscar Robinson, Pistol Pete. I love these. Somebody was asking about these the other day to buy them from me. I love these guys, these Japanese sketch cards. I have a sealed copy of Mario 3 on BZ. Tons of categories on there. And as a reseller, you're not going to find a better place. It's all secured in the Brinks vault, done on the blockchain, which makes your life a lot easier. As Cap mentioned, when you view the odds, the average value is $52. That is a plus EV. Ultra rare, $501. Rare, $250 to $500. Uncommon, $101 to $250. Common, that's where you get to the plus EV. So pretty solid chance, but great opportunity.
Also, for those that don't know, if you're not familiar with Flow, you could actually, for playing the claw, you earn Flow keys, and keys unlock boxes, which unlock points like Flow rewards. So you can go to the Flow store. I can't even count how many BZ community members have used by playing the claw, have gotten iPads, MacBooks, all kinds of stuff like that just from playing the claw.
I mean, it's, for me, I could get a Lubu keychain for my just for playing the claw.
Have you looked to see all the keys and boxes you've earned from playing the claw?
I have. I think it's a Labubu keychain is my high-end item at the moment. Which I think my daughter thinks is creepy, but also kind of wants. Cap, you just got an $18 tip from Drew. Can you be bribed? Is the question.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna choose.
Actually, let me reframe. $18 tip, which might be 18,000 one day because it was 420 Pengu.
I mean, I think, yeah, I absolutely can be bought. There's a number on everything, and yeah, 420 Pengu does it. So NFT Drew is one, and do we still need one more?
We need one more. Give us a second.
I'm going to see if anyone else wants to tip me. I kid. You don't have to buy my love.
Don't do it. Don't when you hear that. I mean, or do it, but like that's not the bribe time.
It's going to be Husker for the
tweet.
I just quote tweeted. Yeah, we have to get a REKT Pengu collaboration. Like that's got to be the next drop after Binance, in my opinion, if I can have anything to say about it. Yeah, good take on that. Active in the chat. So yeah, Husker and in NFT Drew. Runner up would be Floor Slime. So Floor Slime, next time we do something, I got you with that 69 Pengu. Greatly appreciated. 420 Pengu. I think that's my biggest tip ever, Steve.
It's a big tip. I mean, it's a big tip. That is not just the tip. That is a big tip. That is,
and it sent the abstract global wallet to an all-time high. So thank you very much.
There you go.
Endeared in my like, I'm gonna see if I can get Finn to put a picture of NFT Drew next to or on my abstract global wallet.
What a delightful surprise. So we are going to pull now. It'll take a second. Sometimes you got to go through the pick process here, but a $50 pull. Again, lots of opportunity to win here. We're going to do some polls. This first one is going to be for our guy, Jambert. Oh, you can't tell me that is not a beautiful looking little Pokeball right there.
Good luck.
All right, so do not refresh. I don't know, Joey. This was my concern. Potentially.
We've actually improved. It's much faster now. So previously it took a little bit longer, and we've actually improved, as you can tell, a lot of the UI and UX. Pratik and the dev team absolutely crushing it. So it hopefully will move faster, but it did just launch right now.
Got it. Yeah, we will see what happens. I said to Joey, I'm like, do we want to make sure everything's all in shape and promote it for Friday? In which case, if it does, then we will go ahead and run people for Friday. But at the moment, Joey, it does not appear to be pulling. So start, confirm, do not refresh, not touching it. Not touching it.
Let's see.
We shall see. And now we wait.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I texted Joey. I'm like, it launched 10 minutes ago. Do we want to wait till Friday? We can do a big promotion around and get some people on. He's like, let's run it. Does not appear to be pulling. Let's give it a couple minutes here. See if anything happens. I'm gonna more coffee this Amber. Amber to wait the Pokeball pull. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to refresh the page. That do not refresh. I get start. We're going to see if maybe it pulled things without us realizing it. Has not pulled yet. Has not extracted any money or taken any money from my account. I'm going to try one more time on the refresh the page. So we're going to go claw. We're going to go launch. We're going to go start on the $50.
So he said, were you logged in already?
Yes, I'm logged in.
No, I'm saying, were you okay. He said it's working. So you might have to just do a log out, log back in. But he said it is working. Other people are pulling right now.
Got it. We'll do a log out, log in. We'll get this thing going. Which makes sense. I mean, it's a new product, so potentially had to do a quick log out, log in. All right, let's go ahead and share. Man, Cap is cleaning on tips for the claw pull. All right, here we go. So $50 claw pull, BZ. We'll start. We confirm. Do not refresh. Error using claw, insufficient balance. All right, we will try again. Confirm. Refresh. Insufficient balance. All right.
I was going to suggest the same thing that Drew's. Do a Control Shift R. Do a I don't know if you call it a hard or a soft refresh. But Control Shift R should read.
The beauty of new technology, right?
Welcome to Early Stage Tech, ladies and gentlemen. All right, try again. Start, confirm.
Yeah.
All right, we got a do not refresh again. We did not say insufficient balance. We're seeing last time we got do not refresh without a loader. Hit the hard refresh.
Oh, come on.
At least got the lo-fi vibes from Cap.
I wonder why. Okay.
So did you?
I'm going to try logging out, logging back in, refreshing. We will persevere. We're going to refresh.
I apologize, guys.
All good. Maybe even appreciate you doing this. Maybe even shut down and open up a new tab or new browser window without closing.
Yeah. Let's do that. Let's go. Easy. Yeah, I might need to clear everything, which I can't do while streaming.
All this means is it's going to be a big winner. Like when it finally works, it's Drew or Husker or Jambert's going to win the ultra rare $500 plus one.
So true story. When I was going to the national title game, Ohio State back in 2002, when Ohio State won the national title against Miami, my buddy showed up for me to the raffle. You had to wait in this long ass line and go there and go to the ticket office and put your name in the bucket. My buddy forgot his Buck ID. I put in, I won tickets. He came back later, put in, he won tickets. The 25 people after me who signed up did not win tickets to the national title game. So had he not, he would have not won. So we'll give this one more try here. And if not, we will kick this thing to tomorrow or Friday. It looks like I got something maybe, but then it says insufficient wallet balance. So let's see if my wallet is being pulled from, because it looked like there might have been a card that showed up there for a second. No, it doesn't look like it. Start, confirm. Yeah. Error using claw, insufficient balance. Upset smiley face.
Okay. I will let me take a screenshot.
I got NFT Drew, Husker, and Jambert as our three winners.
Yeah, either get insufficient wallet balance or just the Pokeball stares deep into my soul. All
right, I'm sorry. We'll figure out what's going on. It is working. People are posting that they pulled stuff, so it's working. I don't know why it's not working for you, but yes, let me figure out. Let's try to. I'll connect with the team, and we can just do this. We'll just give those three people either tomorrow or Friday, whenever you guys have time during the show. We'll do it for those three people.
Yeah, if you show back up tomorrow, we'll do it tomorrow. We'll get it fixed between tomorrow. Jambert, set up a BZ for sure. If you're not on BZ, you should be on BZ anyway. It is a great platform. It is my go-to. Yeah, I keep getting a card shows up, but then it doesn't do anything, and then it's not taking the cash. So we'll figure that out and refresh. I'm going to check my profile actually real quick to see if I just have a bunch of new cards that showed up in there. Who knows? It can happen as well. Does not appear so. I think Mr. Mime is old, I think. But we will see the history. I'm not sure, actually. Is this an old card? I'll have to find out. Did I just like absolutely rip through all my balance? Possibly. It's possible that these are. Oh, you have to check the tape. Because this one,
I can check the contract and see, and we'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out for everybody.
Yeah. I can check my activity. Odeka believes. How do I check my activity on here? That would be a good. There's my activity. So, yeah, no. It's activity for everybody, not just mine. So, well, and Odeka's like clear cache. I don't want to do that live because we are streaming, and that might do some stuff with my stream and log me out. So let's see if my profile one more time.
We'll get it figured out. There's other stuff we can chat about today, or people want to contribute on. So I'll talk to the team. We'll figure out what's going on, and then I'll let you know.
Cool. That works for us. We will figure that out. But yeah, chat with the team. We'll play around with it. We'll figure it out. But you have the 3 names. Plan to come back tomorrow. We will try again tomorrow. Don't worry. Appreciate it, Joey, though. I mean, $150 for the audience, which could turn into a lot more should it work, but we shall see. So appreciate that, sir. We'll see you back here tomorrow, and we'll get it done. Maybe we'll do it around the 8:30, 8:45 hour. So friends, show up. You have the 3 names, Cap, so we will remember tomorrow as well to get that Jamber, Drew, and Husker. All regulars, by the way, which is awesome.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the patience. Appreciate everyone listening in and helping us power through that. And appreciate you, Joey, and BZ for... We've said it here before. Like, BZ has sponsored a segment. We love them over there. We are grateful for sponsors that we actually appreciate, enjoy their product, and love to talk about them, whether there's a sponsor deal or not. And sometimes that leads to some free giveaways here on the show, some unplanned. So impromptu, but appreciate everyone bearing with us there. And Steve, I did see Diego jumped up. I'm not sure if it was about this or something else. I just want to make sure you saw him on the stage.
Yeah, and I know you got the music going still, so I don't know if you want to...
Yeah, good call. I was zoned out by the nighttime. I think it's nighttime driving. Yeah, night driving it's called. There we go.
Gets you going, gets the people going. But Diego, did you have any thoughts on this or anything else? I know you jumped up the stage. I didn't know if you wanted to have any conversation there. Maybe lost him. We're things are going swimmingly for us this morning, Cap. But other than that, I mean, look, I want to.
He's in abstract chat, but yeah, you're still on stage. So you may have to take a lap, shut down the app, bounce from the stage, and we'll bring you back up if you want to join the combo. But yeah, he did say his X rugged.
Yeah. Good stuff. Looking forward to doing the giveaways tomorrow, Cap. I think we can pivot into other topics of the day. So, SBET continues to purchase ETH. I don't know if you saw that. $259 million of purchases at an average price of 3,200. So that means that they are going to continue to cook. So SBET has been definitely crushing the game, which you love to see there. PNC partnering with Coinbase to provide crypto services. My, how the turntables on this one. This is one where traditional finance, Jamie Dimon, we talked about it yesterday. 18 months ago, Jamie Dimon calls Bitcoin a pet rock that is used for money laundering, scandals, etc. And now they're looking into stable coins. They're looking into using crypto for themselves. They're looking at offering crypto as loan collateral. TradFi's on the way, and I think you got your favorite website pulled up now.
Yep, you mentioned SBET. They, again, leaped Bitmine, and this doesn't include that Joseph Lubin's out there attempting to raise $5 billion to buy more ETH. This is not inclusive of that. But yeah, they remain 1-2 with Ethereum Foundation number 3. We started this list. It was less than 40. Last week, I think 52. Now we're up to 60. I think my call was it'd be over 100 within the month. And heading that way, it's not just the strategic reserve companies, though. Another green day on the ETF flow. This is, I don't want to say it's unprecedented. I'm sure there's been other ETFs that have just been net in for 21 days in a row, not including the weekends. Like, pretty insane run here in July. And these are not small numbers. 231,000 ETH was the biggest day ever, followed by 173, followed by 115, followed by 78, followed by 141. That's a lot of ETH. They're not enough of it, Steve. It is pretty insane. Also, you love to see abstract popping on. It's 0.13 ETH. It's $465,000 in ETH popping on the strategic ETH reserve list, Steve. I don't know if that's just their. I don't know if that's a buy. I don't know if that's their they're generating revenue and they're sitting on ETH. That's interesting though.
Yeah, man. It's you continue to see these buys coming in. You continue to see the sort of, emergence of, again, like TradFi just jumping into the space hand over fist. Again, we talked about PENGU and VanEck's interest there, and that continues. By the way, VanEck's, like, people on X just continuing to talk about Pudgy Penguins, PENGU, sales, gifts, like everything related to it. It's like, again, this is like not people. I think people sometimes like almost take for granted. It's like these are like serious people who people respect. Like, this is like people who are followed in this, not just by our quarter of the internet, but by very real people with very real respected backgrounds. And I think we sometimes take for granted that, like, we see that and we're like, oh, it's another person bull posting. Like, this isn't like celebrity coming in and saying, buy my coin or buy my NFT or, oh my God, I'm in like this club or that club now. These are serious people. So I think that there's something to be said about that we maybe are almost taking for granted, because I don't know about you, I feel like I've been hurt enough times in crypto that I'm probably like letting myself not get expectations up. And I'm almost like gun shy about certain things. And it certainly cost me full porting some money over to REKT. It certainly has cost me full porting more money over to PENGU when I've seen it running up. And everybody keeps saying, is it over? Is it over? Is it over? And I think those are oftentimes like sort of these famous last words. So I don't know, man. I feel like the TradFi people coming in is something that we are sort of underestimating and underappreciating, at least from my perspective, right at the moment.
I agree. This just came out 9 o'clock. Binance announced deposits are for 1,000 REKT are now open. So it's looking like instead of 1-to-1, 1,000 REKT to USDT pair will begin on tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Eastern. You're going to want to have a Binance USA account or Binance US account if you plan to purchase that next Binance REKT during collaboration.
Which I'm not sure you can do everywhere in the US. Like, I feel like I'm probably not going to be able to do that one, which is like down horrendously. I don't know. Dort said you couldn't do it in Florida.
You might Bahamas planned.
Yeah, good thing you're in the Bahamas right now, currently, which might be a good sign for you. But yeah, I think that there is a lot of I think it's just we're heating up right now, and I keep saying, like, the bets we make are the ones that, like, making consolidated bets is my strategy with a little bit of spray. But like, I'm not minting like every day. People come in our private Discord, the GG Network War Room over there, and people are like, hey, OpenSea's minting a new thing. Let's mint this thing. These are going to cook. These are going to cook. I don't think it's a new random mint. I could see art going. I want to get Deez's art, collab that he announced. Like, I want to get some art. Like, I think
missed
art
that. Was he doing?
So Deez is doing something on 8chain, actually. Let me see if I can find the specific. I couldn't find the information. I said how to get whitelist. He said, I don't think you'll need one. I'm like, I don't know, man. I don't know what the supply or anything looks like. But here, I'll share. Yep, there you go. Bad. Gallery opening soon. A new collaboration with Deez dropping on OpenSea, minting on 8chain. So 8chain on top on that one, looking very good. Excited to try and get my hands on something like that. But we talked about it before. We need a good degen art mint. That's not super high supply. It's not the 10K. It's the actual traditional sort of like real art for art's sake that people are interested in. I think that's interesting. So I'd see that. Related, just to put the train back on the tracks for the thing I was going to share after Claw as well, because I want to get your take on this. I I was having this conversation the other day where people are like, everyone got greedy, everyone got greedy, everyone got greedy. And this tweet's got a little nerfed, but I want to bring it up for the sake of the discussion in the last half hour here. I said, as the market takes off, remember to take profits. Round tripping isn't just greed. It's a combo of the money doesn't seem real. It's denominated crypto. I fell for that one being like, oh, it's only 3 ETH type thing and ETH's like $4,000. The cost was low. I paid just $200 for it, right? People who are sitting there saying, oh, I just paid $200 for this thing. So who cares that it's $10,000? I can write it all the way back down to 200 and I'm still up. You don't want to let the team and community down. That was a big one for me. There are times when I got to know founders and teams and organizations and I said, I don't want to sell. I don't want to be that guy. By the way, I have been sell shamed before, so I get how that goes. You think you're smarter than everybody else. Everybody thinks they're a genius in a bull market. The team working on the thing you own has execution risk you don't foresee. Again, I had times where there were communities and teams that were working on things and they would come and say publicly, don't fade us. Things are going to happen. And behind the scenes, they had no idea what they were doing. I found out later on. So I just said, taking something off the table is often scarier than holding it because it can always keep going up. For every person who took profits on a Bored Ape at 2 ETH and regrets it, there's plenty of people who didn't take profits on a Mechaverse or Art Gobblers who do regret it. Delusional thinking is always obvious in hindsight, but rarely in the moment. And that last line is something I think we sometimes forget about. Everybody acts like it was so obvious to sell Bored Apes when they were running up and they were hot in their numbers, which, by the way, I don't regret not selling. I've gotten a lot of deal flow, a lot of opportunities, a lot of friends, a lot of access, a lot of once-in-a-lifetime experiences out of that. But everyone acts like it's so obvious that when a JPEG hits that number, you sell it. I think people forget that literally, even in the Allegro era, do you remember the little robots that cleaned up the poop that you played Dookie Dash for? I sold one of those for like 7 ETH or some ridiculous number, like the mid pass to play the game. I sold for like
it was over 10K. You cleared over 10K on that, and that was in January of
23.
Probably.
I don't think it was 22. Wouldn't have been 22.
I was thinking it might have been 24, but it was January 23.
Yeah. So in 2023, like people act like it's a surprise or like it's like it was so obvious. In January 2023, Bored Apes got like a $10,000 airdrop and another pass if you own a mutant, which you then sold that thing for another $4,000 or $5,000. Like that's like $15,000 for an ape and a mutant just for holding. So people acting like it's the most obvious thing in the world. It's like hindsight always seems so obvious, but that's why it's hindsight. And I think like as you enter a cycle like this, especially if it's your first cycle, just realize that like things like the Clemente tweet we shared earlier, sell a little bit, put it in, especially with fungible tokens. I love my PENGU. I love my REKT. They're on a ripper. If I take a little bit off the table and roll it into something that's more, whether it's taking profits and go getting a nice steak dinner, or whether it's taking profits and getting myself more allocated to Bitcoin, more allocated to ETH, there's not a bad time to take profit. Nobody ever got hurt taking a profit. Classic Jim Cramer, right? Nobody ever got hurt taking a profit before Jim Cramer went absolutely crazy. And so I don't know, Cap, like it's just something I want to share just because I think it's something that is it's top of mind with me this morning as the market continues to run, to say, don't be afraid to take money off the table. I know it seems like opportunity cost. I know people are going to call you crazy. I know communities might say you're stupid. I know you might seem delusional. I just think it's the move that you got to pay attention to. And it's something that I did moderately last cycle. I didn't do well in 2016, 2017, and I'm trying to do even better in this round.
Yeah, I mean, sage advice, have a plan and stick to it. And all that to be said, I think it's I don't know the time on any particular token or any particular asset, but I still think we are far from the top of the cycle.
Yeah, early for sure. What else you got top of mind this morning, Cap? That's sort of my stack for the day.
REKT ripped on the announcement. Continues ripping, I should say. There was a massive, I missed this. I meant to hit on the market update. There was a massive Pudgy Penguin sale overnight. I want to get the numbers right. It
was 440,000 in USD. It was like 120 ETH or something.
Yep, fourth highest on-chain sale ever for a Pudgy. It was the iced out. Oh, I can't find it.
I put it in the war room. It was It was the ice crown with an ice kimono with a like a light blue background.
This one here. That is
Clean.
a $441,000 JPEG, Steve. It is sharp, but good. You know, these Grail sales have a way of really igniting momentum, and you know, it's not just Pudgies. It's, you know, we talked about the big. I think we talked about the big autoglyph sale the other day. Arthur swept like 4 or 5 more punks. You got crypto OGs coming out of the woodwork to buy JPEGs. Like, part of the NFT thesis is Bitcoin, then alts, and then you have people in crypto that, you know, their numbers on a screen have went up big. Their net worth has increased substantially, and they want to flex that a little bit. And NFTs, I think, are the most logical flex or best way to flex, I guess, for those that are active here. I don't think it's going to go wide across all collections, but I do think when you say it's like early in the cycle, I think we may just beginning to see this where people are sidelined. They want to get in these NFTs. I can't remember who it was, but someone, you know, was trying to buy an ape and like, oh, I'm going to wait until it, you know, dips down to USD 15 to 20K, and now it's ran away from them again. And there's just a lot of people that, and I saw Machiavelli, he's like wanting to, considering swapping his Pengu bag out to get an ape, but he also sees the upside. He maybe holds a little longer. He could swap it out for 3 apes. So it's like, I think that's where my head's at, is while if I'm making plays with size right now, it's most likely tokens. I do think that we could get this NFT season of, I don't know. I feel funny calling them historical NFTs, but really like that 21 class, 22 class and earlier. Like, I don't know. Maybe if someone buys Cool Cats next week and we see it run up to over an ETH, I would rather, again, I think I'd rather see those. It's the variable is the builder, right? Like, I'm not knocking Moonbirds. It's fine. But the reason they're running is because Spencer, not because Moonbirds are some great IP. It's fine. But it's Spencer is in the team is why it's running. He had a good space with Laura and the OpenSea team the other day, and it makes me more bullish. I don't even really remember what the partnership announcement was. I heard there was like a dedicated marketplace. I don't even know what that means, or why a brand would need their own marketplace on OpenSea, but I guess just a collaboration, more marketing, more reach for them. Again, all good, but again, it's the team, it's the people, not the IP. So, am I being too harsh here? Like, why would someone spend any material money on buying Cool Cats, which is Klon's IP, and attempting to build a business around that versus starting their own new business with their own brand coin or a new NFT collection? What am I missing here?
I mean, to a degree,
valuing those.
You're expecting an existing community to come through, right? Like, that's the goal. The goal is that you are playing on nostalgia. It's like when you buy old IP. It's like if somebody went and bought, you know, I remember Board Elon being like, I want to make a game. I want to buy the Inspector Gadget IP. And a bunch of people are like, oh, Inspector Gadget. Oh, and I know it's like a smaller space, but the idea is like Cool Cats at one point were like 13 ETH or something. You want to talk about like a crazy round trip. They're like 13 ETH. And you know, they didn't execute the milk token. They brought in some guy who was like a, you know, person at Disney. That didn't go well. Then they brought in
2 or 3 different leadership changes now, no?
Yeah. Klon took back over, and then they kind of like effectively exited Web3. I think that if somebody has a real plan for Cool Cats and says, I love this IP, playing on the nostalgia, it's like, let's face it, people like me, people like the Faroks of the world, the people who loved Cool Cats back in the day, and like I was never like super deep in the Cool Cats community, but I liked one. I had one, and I liked them. People who want to buy, people who have nostalgia are going to go buy them. And so I think playing on the nostalgia is why you buy the old community. And it's also an existing business at the very least, right? It's like you buy an existing community, you buy an existing business. You know, I talked about like potentially buying a gym with you.
Existing businesses have like some form of revenue. Have something like you're buying something that's you can make
Right,
some.
but Moonbirds didn't. But Moonbirds didn't. And Spencer said, I see the IP. I know how to build a TCG. I want to create a PFP for what I'm doing here. I can probably get a pretty good deal from Yuga, who's ready to kind of like, focus on what they're doing. He has been really smart in buying things before. And so he said, you know what? Like, I'm going to buy this existing IP. And he knew there was a community there. And he knew that people had nostalgia about it. And he knew people were waiting for a comeback and they were looking for a leader. I think Cool Cats have that factor for a lot of people. I know you weren't in the community. I owned one for a period of time that I really, really liked. Ended up selling it on the run down. But I think there's something to be said about the fact they're cute. They've done a lot of really cool things in the past and people like them still. And they had big events. They were one of the biggest names in Web3 for a long period of time. Andrew Wang turned down $1 million for the Upside Down Cat. Like that was how big they were. And
What's he up to? He's still in the space at all?
No idea. I saw him at Art Basel like 2 years ago. I don't think I've seen him a lot since.
Jammer says, remember Cool Cats in the Macy's parade?
Yeah, they were in the Macy's parade. They won in the Macy's parade. They won a thing to get in the Macy's parade. Like that was a vote that they won. And that was not last year, but the year before. So it's like they're not that far removed from being one of the big ones that people loved. And so Cooltopia NFT NYC, as Von Frunten said, it was camp before Doodles, could have been much bigger. I remember Cooltopia was like, I couldn't get into it. I didn't have a +1 and I couldn't get to it. Or nobody had a +1 I could use and I couldn't get into it in 2022. And I was jealous. I was a jellyfish. I was peanut butter and jelly, man. It was bad. So I think that there's something to it. So I think Cool Cats would be a good buy for the right person. Like, there's no reason Spencer couldn't buy Cool Cats and do another trading card game, right? I know he's concentrating on Moonbirds. That's his PFP. He's going to focus. I don't think it makes sense for him. But someone like that, like, there's a alternate timeline where Spencer buys Cool Cats instead of Pudgy Penguins and does the same, or I mean, instead of Moonbirds and does the same thing. So I do think that there's some love there that could potentially happen. And also, by the way, the quiet part out loud, and then we'll bring Joey in here in a minute, but it's like quiet part out loud, man. It's like there's not new money coming in to buy NFTs right now. Not a lot anyway. Like the Van X stuff on Pudgy Penguins is the exception to the rule. The occasional Bored Ape is the exception to the rule. Most of it's the money here. And if you're trying to play on the money here, the new hot thing, you better be really popular with a really good plan. You better have a really good business, or you're buying something that gives people nostalgia. It's like one of those few. So I think Cool Cats actually is a smart next buy if you're looking at something to be acquired, and maybe that's what people are betting on versus some of the other ones that are out there or creating a new one. And I could see why it makes sense. Joey Valls, go ahead, or go ahead, Cap. I didn't know if you want to say something.
No, different. Go. We'll finish this, and I'll hold my new topic. I'll hold.
All right, Joey Valls, go ahead and get in here.
I kind of see where Cap's coming from because, although like I've always thought the Cool Cats IP was really cool and could be one of those like Hello Kitty-ish brands, right? Like because the style of the art, and I see where Cap's coming from because it's like if you were to buy Cool Cats, and this is probably what a lot of people said about Yuga buying Moonbirds and then subsequently Spencer buying Moonbirds, right? Is if you were to buy Cool Cats, you've got like 4 years or whatever it is, 3+ years of failures and disappointments. And yeah, there were some highs. The Macy's parade was really cool, right? They actually had stuff in Macy's that you could buy. I have a bunch of their I bought a bunch of their toys and stuff and in support. But you're also looking at, like, to Cap's point, like, why would you want to buy something that you have to like turn the sentiment around so strongly just because you like the IP? Now, if you're not creative and you can't come up with your own, okay, fine, you might have to buy one. But if you're somebody that's a creative, I see where Cap's coming from, of like changing the sentiment around it for the last 3 to 4 years. Now, why people are buying it, I think it's like people are seeing these old collections go on runs and they're basically like, okay, who's next, right? Like we had this conversation in the war room about quirkies, and it's like, okay, well, if old NFT collections are running, why couldn't Corky's run again, right? And and maybe that's what the ideas with Cool Cats and some of these other, like we talked about Clone X the other day in here, or you guys did, about Clone X getting bought. It's like, I think people that missed on buying Moonbirds, as you know, are like, okay, well, what could go next as one of these, quote unquote vintage collections if we have another NFT season? And they're betting on the cute IP with Cool Cats, I guess.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, Kyle. I agree. I understand what you're saying and like why you're saying it's a bad bet. But like, if I had asked you 3 months ago, hey man, is acquiring Moonbirds from Yuga a great bet? There's not a person who would say that it was a good bet at the moment. They would be like, the community's disgruntled. It's, not a great situation with the community right now. They're not super happy. Like, all these other things. It's like you would get all these answers from people like, no, you can't do that. It's not the right play. Those would be the answers from people if I asked about buying Moonbirds 3 months ago. Now it's like, what an obvious play, and Moonbirds are back and it's so great. Like, when he first acquired
I think people are saying it's an obvious play or trying to play the whole foresight game. Like, I don't think anybody thought Moonbirds was an obvious play before Spencer bought them.
So the who matters a lot.
Yep.
And not just who buys it, but who else gets involved. It matters a lot. You have not just Spencer, who's respected. You've got like the people, his strategic investors, people like Dudas, who, he may as well change his bio to early investor and pump fund. Like, he's a big deal in early stage startups here, and he's putting his full support behind it. Swapped his PFP out to a Moonbird now. It's like, that matters a lot. And the other thing that we don't know, we're acting on definitely not all the information, even though I said like I don't fully understand it, or I think there's merit in and I'm not talking like Moonbirds, that checks out, makes sense. The who matters a lot. Not knocking the Moonbird acquisition whatsoever. I think it was, in hindsight, obviously great move, appears. But I think the information we don't have, and why it would make sense for someone to do that, or let's say buy Cool Cats, is it's a distressed asset. You just nailed it. Like right now, I don't know Klon personally. It's probably a headache to him. He's like, man, I just enjoyed when I could be creative and make art. Now I've got this community that's when they're just bugging me all the time for when I'm going to do something. And I've been doing something. It just, the market hasn't responded until recently. For these communities that didn't find product market fit, they don't have any revenue stream. What they have now is a few thousand headaches in the form of NFT holders. It's a liability to most of those founders. It's a headache they're not making any money off of. They're putting in blood, sweat, and tears. They're working somewhere between 5 and 50 hours plus a week on something that's not bringing them any income. And so why someone might do it is they're not buying per se. They're not, maybe it's seller financing, but I would be shocked if they're outlaying millions of dollars in capital to buy these. It's like, hey, we'll take the liability off your hand. We'll take the headache off your hand. Give us the keys to your store, and we'll give you $5,000 a month for the next 5 years. Like, I'm making up numbers, but this stuff happens all the time in real business. I'm familiar with retail where it really happens, because not only does it become a headache where your business owner is not making any money, if they weren't savvy or they didn't have a good tenant rep broker, or maybe just the market conditions warrant it, they have a personal guarantee on the lease. So, in that scenario, it's like, oh man, I've got this headache, this business I got to run that I'm not even making money. I'm barely paying my bills, and I can't shut it down. I can't walk away because I'm on the hook for a $5,000 a month lease for the next 7 years.
Right. I don't want to get
You're telling me you're going to sign the lease over. I can wash my hands of it and move on and actually go do something that makes money and not have to worry about this giant headache I have. Where do I sign? And I say this happens all the time because I've been on the other side of that. Like, I built my, 30 Verizon stores, half of my acquired by that exact scenario. As I was a hero taking a headache off someone that for me became an instant profit center. But it wasn't
your problem now, right? Like the thing is
I think there's probably a lot of these old collections that are a problem. They're a headache. The founders, like, they don't want to give up. They don't want to let their community down, but they're out of ideas how to actually generate revenue, and they're probably stressed the hell out. Like, So yeah, I think that's a big why is they're distressed assets and the purchase price often is probably going to be free or close to free or no outlay, not having to outlay any cash up front.
Yeah, like if a community member was super passionate about Cool Cats right now, I don't see why they couldn't or wouldn't want to buy it and move if they had a business plan, like a real business person, right? I mean, we saw Beanie saying this with Pixel Vault. He's like, I would like to turn Pixel Vault into what it's become, what it could have become. And he's got the idea of like comics and IP and stuff.
I mean,
honestly,
this is probably controversial. I'd love to see it, man. I just don't. I think Pixel Vault's dead unless there's some change there. It seems like the writing's on the wall. Made an effort and it just didn't work out, and pivoted again and didn't work out. And it's like, I'm not like, talk about things like I've got 2 meta heroes that are just sitting in a wallet. Like I have zero expectation of those pumping this cycle unless someone like Beanie comes in and acquires it. And then, yeah, they're going to run. Like I would be shocked if they might it not work and whatever he tries doesn't work and they're right back to where they are 12 months from now, possibly. But in a space that moves so much on speculation, like sometimes change in ownership, change in leadership, it's a good thing. And it's like, I also don't think Beanie would pay any like real money up front for that acquisition, right? It's like, because right now it's like, do you think G-Funk views all those Pixel Vault assets in those communities as like it's helping him, or is it a headache? Like I'm pretty sure it's probably a headache and a liability. It's a problem.
Right. Like you try to do things, it doesn't work out for you, and you're, like then it's like you're stuck with these holders who are like, you owe me and I bought and what's there. And it's like to your point, like you're not earning money. Like a lot of them look at the community as like a headache. And like
sure, they should just cut it down. Hey, we tried, it didn't work. Most businesses failed. This was one. So we're decommissioning it, we're shutting down the LLC, and we're moving on to the next. You can do that here, but I don't know. It's like a moral, ethical, like I was trying not to name names, but like, dude, I wish Tally Labs would have done something like this with Jenkins and Azerbala. It's like instead they just pulled the slow rug and like, oh, it didn't work for us, so you guys are all just screwed. There's no hope. It's just over. Okay, I get it from a business owner standpoint and the fact that they just, they had to move on, but there's other ways. And I think deep down, I'm grateful for those that find a way. Like I have one mythic. Is it going to make or break me in any way, shape, or form? No. But more so than myself, there are people that are really, that they're passionate in that community, that really love the IP, that love the community. And I'm grateful that they have new life again. Right? It's like, it's just leadership is important. The people are as important. We've seen, I mean, most of the examples we're talking about today are pretty small, lean teams. And it really comes down to the founder or the president. And because supply is so small in this world, like you could really have an impact with excitement, momentum. And then what they parlay that into matters. Like use that as a launch pad for whatever you're going to do next in your business, whatever you think you can find product market fit or generate real revenue or hopefully profits from. But you gotta get the flywheel started. And I think there is hope for some of these. It's just probably a lot more hope if it was under new leadership.
Yeah, I agree. And it's hard, but it's like a lot of people don't want to take that on. A lot of founders get burnt out. And to your point, like, I mean, I honestly, I want to see Pixel Vault go back to like, I want them to just reacquire the punks and let me stake to earn fractional shares of punks. Like, I love that methodology. Buy this thing, you own part of this thing, you get fractional shares of CryptoPunks. If CryptoPunks keep going up, you own it. Like, that's a very interesting method if it can be done legally now as it is. Like, I found that was why I bought Punks comics back in the day. I'm not going to be able to own CryptoPunks. Be cool to own shares of them and see them go up. Remember at one point, Beanie thought that like he had done the math and he was guessing on some prices, but he was like, man, each CryptoPunks comic has a chance of staking getting $20,000 worth of punks if you just sit there and stake them for a few years. And like, that felt real. That felt like a real investment.
Just the comics. Like there was something there. Like I
have one on my wall still. It's awesome. I like my addition to my collectible. I like having it. It's like, there's something to be said about like that methodology. And yeah, man, like
I don't have every collection, but I've got a Punks comic one. Make that worth something. You know how it is worth something? You get to Punks comic edition 100 It's worth nothing if it stops at Punk's Comic 4.
You get a Punk's Comic, series on Netflix that's crushing, right? It's like that's what you do. Yeah, man. I think like that idea of buying an existing community, like you have opportunity if you have a plan. Like again, Cool Cats weren't my jam. If I was deep in the Cool Cats community, I might be thinking about like what would I have done differently with Cool Cats that could have been better, that could have changed things, that would have made it work. And can you do the gifts thing with Pudgy Penguins? Can you make it, good? Can you drop a brand point? Whatever it is.
I mean, I know they can. What is there any chance of it being successful if some of these, we'll use Cool Cats as we've been talking about it, any of these ones that already, both examples actually, Cool Cats or Pixel Vault, that have already launched a utility token, Milk or GG, or I can't remember the ones they had before that, Punks and what was the other token?
Pow,
that's it. Thanks. These brands that already launched multiple NFT collections, already launched utility tokens or fungible tokens, could they do a brand coin?
You would need to consolidate it. Like they actually did a pretty good job consolidating all their planets and stuff into something with a planet at one point, but it just didn't work out. You need to do some consolidation and relaunch it. But yeah, I think you could. I mean, Milk's no longer a thing. Like it's just, I don't even think there's liquidity in it. So like that went up and down and kind of went down. I don't know, man. It's an interesting topic about like whether you would buy or start a new one. You can go both directions, but I think with no new entrants, finding a way with the current nostalgia and current crew is interesting. Let's get Machiavelli in here. So Machiavelli come up, then we'll go back to Joey. Machiavelli, GM.
Yo, GM, guys, I'm the golden ticket holder of the Think Agent bundles. I just won the golden ticket, yo. I just claimed and staked. I'm so fucking hyped.
Yo, I know you were like getting pretty hyped up yesterday. So remind us the golden ticket.
So claims are live. I pinned it up top, the Think announcement. I didn't realize it already went live. Congrats.
Yo, oh yeah.
Yeah, man, it just went live a little while ago. I claimed I staked, and after I claimed and I staked, I got this big thing that popped up on my screen that said, "Congratulations, you're the golden ticket holder," and they gave me like 12K extra Think tokens.
Let's roll, my friend. That's exciting. Congratulations. That's exciting for you. Love to see it. Love the love to see you winning for that matter. And congratulations, man. I know you're big on Think Agents. You're excited about that. So I mean, I'm probably going to stake everything that I got as well, most likely from that drop. And yeah, it's you love to see it, sir. You love to see it.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Yo, I really enjoy this show. I love the alpha that I get here. And I don't know how anybody cannot be like fully immersed in this ecosystem and be participating and sit here every day. You know what I mean? I'm just hyped to be a part of this.
Right on. I'm excited too, and I'm probably going to claim and stake as well. Although it looks like, it does look like the Think token I'm sitting on now is worth about what my offer was on my Think Agent before. I know people were saying it was like way down before, but it looks like my claim might be worth $400, which is about what the offer it was before. So good stuff there. Congratulations, Machiavelli. Love seeing that. I think 10% people are going to win the golden ticket. So good to see that you were one of them. I'm probably going to go on and stake, almost certainly, but we shall see. But Joey Vowles, go ahead and get in here, GM.
I had raised my hand initially because Cap and you guys made a comment about like, it depends on who buys it and whatever, and the sentiment am I crazy to say that like, even everything that happened with Moonbirds, there was still like a really strong Moonbirds community, which is why somebody like Spencer coming in and buying it, like it had this chance. Whereas like when we're talking, no offense to Cool Cats, like I've never owned one, but I don't see people talk about Cool Cats on the timeline, even with all the negative that's happened. Like I still always saw people talking about Moonbirds. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I think you are. I think there was, most people had sold. I think there are multiple communities that exist. I think there are still people who hold cool cats. I think we're like already having sort of this short-term memory, which we do in the space, about what moonbirds were. Like, remember the take on moonbirds? It was Yuga's not doing anything with them. They're leaving them out to dry. Nothing's happened with them. I'm selling. Like, it was like not only negative, but it was like largely less PFPs and people who weren't there. There is cool cats community that still exists the same way. And so I think that they're very similar in that sense. So I don't know. I mean, I think, and maybe it has died off a bit and there aren't as many people there, but I do think that there is still community there. And I don't think that was a bullish thing, because honestly, I would argue if there was zero community in cool cats, it was better to buy than the moonbirds in theory, because moonbirds had complete negative sentiment. Like, we talked about it. Like, when Yuga acquired it, we're like, there's so much negative risk there. What are they doing? Then they didn't do much with it. And, you know, they said, oh, we maybe have some plans, but maybe not, yada, yada, yada. And we didn't see, like, the community was negative. You were buying a community that was already upset and being like, what are you going to do for me? Spencer was like the perfect person to do it. But I think someone like that could turn a lot of communities around. I think it's like, it's, you know, again, hindsight feels really great there, but that sentiment was like, if you had asked me 3 months ago, would you buy moonbirds? I'd be like, no way, man. The sentiment there is horrible. So, I don't know, Cap, if you have a different feeling about that, or I know we're kind of winding down. Any other thoughts before, or things we missed before we wanted to, you know, tap dance out?
No, I mean, it's going to be different with each one, and not just each collection, each community, but also the founder, or the president who's acquiring it. Back to this thing real quick, just because they'd have a full staking in a standard staking. I'm guessing full staking is just you're staking all. Did you read through the actual differences between full staking and standard staking?
No, I went live this morning during the show. I haven't had a chance to look, but I'm going to look at it after the show and decide what I'm doing with those tokens and what we do.
I lost the first half of that.
I said I haven't had a chance to look at it because it just went live, but I will after the show, and I'm going to decide whether I'm going to stake or claim or what.
Also, I think we may have either something's underway, or Husker may have inspired the next REKT Drink collaboration.
I saw that OSF responds with the thinky face and the Pengu. I don't know if it's a biz dev move or it's a real move, but I know both of us kind of saw that and were like, well, what do we have here? And so could be a potential dude. That
I don't need more drinks if they do a Pengu in
you want to get over 1 million drinks.
That's it right there.
I mean, you wouldn't have enough supply for what you want to distribute. Like, that would be a rush to get them. Like, it would go live during the show, and we would pause the show to go try to buy like 5 cases, like, because rewards in Pengu plus REKT, like, those are the two darlings right now. So it would be crazy.
And maybe we'll throw in some abstract XP on top. Like, yeah, it would be an absolute cook.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the golden ticket. That's awesome. Machiavelli did get an extra 12K. Think. GG. Congrats on that. What would they call it? Ice REKT. Like, what would you call a Pengu REKT?
I think you should call it like REKT iceberg, and it's like a blueberry flavor or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to think about it, but there's definitely some I don't know, like, the only reason I might not is because when I think about ice drinks, I think about like really artificial Gatorade-y, like that color that doesn't occur in nature, blue or purple or whatever it is. I don't know, like that. So I have a negative association with the term ice versus like REKT has like a kind of, feels okay, and abstract apple, like, even if you don't know what abstract is, like abstract apple feels like you could like have some fun playing around with that. Liquidated lime, like you get that one. I'm not sure what the Binance one's going to be, but it talks about gold and it looks like it's a pineapple flavor, potentially based on the can. Ice makes me feel like it's like, if it's not water, if it's not like canned water and it's not ice canned water, then I'm like, I don't know, man. That feels like purple, bluish, weird Gatorade. I mean, maybe they could retake it home, but that's what I think of there. So I don't know. Shall see. Cap, that said, 10 o'clock. Any other parting thoughts before we get out of here?
Pudgy Punch. Chat winning today. Diablito won $100 in Zinco yesterday. GG to everyone. It's we are feeling good. PENGU Pineapple, another good one. Shout out to Be Epic on the Abster tip. The Husker, nice tip there. The Flora Slime, really appreciate all the love today. And the big one from NFT Drew. We will get NFT Drew, Husker, and Jambert tomorrow or soon when we come back. We will get the claw draws for you. Appreciate Joey you jumping up and offering that today. Very generous of you. And I was thinking there was something else. I mean, I knew the Think TGE. Isn't there something else today too going live? A claim or something?
No, I was just thinking about Think today. That's on my mind.
You'll probably hit me later. But if you haven't yet, hit the reminder for tomorrow and Friday's show. It's up top all the way to the right. Steve plays us out here. Appreciate those reminders. It helps get the room warmed up before we even go live. And yeah, hopefully another green day tomorrow in NFT land.
Yeah. Thanks everyone who came through this morning. Appreciate everyone who jumped through. We will talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.